got the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Really wish I could get drunk sometimes.
Well, we've seen Superman before. We've seen him.
It's great to be talking to you.
Hey, Mark.
About this wonderful new Superman show, which is a completely different Superman show than I think anyone's ever anticipated or seen. If you could talk a little bit about, firstly, Superman and Lois, those differences and how you reacted to it.
You know, the most exciting thing about it for me is what it. Sorry, I have to always say that I haven't seen the previous versions, and that's an intentional choice. Knowing that I was going to play the character, wanting to stay away. But what I do know about those stories in comparison to ours, this is not an origin story. We're not discovering this. We're not watching this guy discover who he is. He knows who he is. He's done that. He's become Superman. It's kind of something he can do in his sleep now. We're seeing him struggle, and what the story is about is how do you do all these things that are asked of you, and then also dedicate that time to being a good partner, to being a good father, being a good parent. And that's something that we've definitely never seen him do before, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be able to tell that story with this character.
You've played Superman in other different shows. How is this experience unlike those past experiences playing the Man of Steel?
Those other ones, we had so much fun doing it. It was a situation where you're stepping in as that character, and you're really there to be supportive of the other cast. It's their show. You're there to assist. You're there to be a part of it. And add to the story. This is something completely different where like these characters are now the focus of the show. So instead of, popping in for a moment and really not getting too much backstory or really not getting time to really have like those little nuances really take hold. We have those moments now. We have those times where it can just be Lois and Clark sitting and having a conversation for an entire scene. And it's not dealing with any of those other characters that are in the shows. It's very much so much about their lives, their family, their relationship. We're really getting those intimate moments to kind of see who these people really are in a much more vulnerable way.
What can you tell us about what it was like for you to put on that suit for the first time? I imagine it must have been pretty crazy and incredible.
Yeah, it's surreal is the only word I think that really does it justice. It's always just it's kind of crazy when you put it on and to look down and be able to see that symbol on the chest. It's like it's crazy. It's so many people wear it and you see it all. You see so many tattoos and everything. To look down at a suit that has it on there, it's incredibly surreal.
How much is Superman and Lois going to lean into that family drama? I mean, that's a storyline that we haven't really seen explored in the comic books. How heavily is it going to lean into that this season?
I'd say it's the main focus. I'd say that's what this show is about. I think it's we say we're a family drama first that happens to have a father and a husband who happens to be Superman. And that's his job. That's what's, causing a lot of these issues in his life and conflict and trying to be two places at once and really actually be present in two places at once. It's impossible. You can't do it. So, that's going to be the focus of the show. We want it to be about the family. I think that's why this version of this character is important and timely right now. I think this last year with what's happened, a lot of things out there that we felt were incredibly important and could never be delayed, could never be postponed or it'd be canceled. And a lot of those things went away and they were delayed and they've all been put on hold. But those relationships that we have are family, whether it's, a family you're born into, a family that you choose, those relationships are the things that we can't escape. Those are the things that always remain. So to me, I think it's the perfect time for a show that says family is the most important thing that we're going to be talking about on the show.
Tyler, what can you tell us about the villains? Is the show setting up that, you're going to be going up against Captain Luthor and Lois is going to be going up against Morgan Edge? How is that all going to play out?
I would say that's a fair assumption after what you guys have seen so far. So you kind of nailed it on the head. It's great. I think we always say, Lois is a superhero all to herself as well with what she does. I've always said, at least the way I look at the character, for Clark, Superman, to see her, someone who is vulnerable in ways that he is not, who a bullet doesn't bounce off of her chest the way it bounces off of his, to put herself in harm's way in the pursuit of justice, of truth. I think there's such an incredible admiration for her from him. I think it breeds such an amount of respect between them, and that's a huge foundation of their relationship. So I think it's an exciting setup for both of them for what they're going to be going after this year.
Obviously, Superman has a huge assortment of villains that he can go up against. Is there somebody that you look at and say, yeah, I wouldn't mind squaring up against that guy or girl later on in the season?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a baseball player at heart from back in my days. I'm a huge sports fan, so I love those biggest rivalries. So it's hard for me not to go with Luthor or Zod, just because it's that's it. That's the one. So those are always the ones that I'm excited about. So I think we're set up for a great first season. I think the fans will be really excited to see where this storyline goes. There's a lot of twists and turns to look forward to this season as well. So I hope people stay on board and see where this leads.
Superman and Lois, how much will it cross over at all with any of the Arrowverse other shows?
Yeah, I know there were plans for that. We were supposed to do that with Batwoman. Obviously, COVID kind of threw a wrench in things, so who knows how long that goes on for. It's always been so much fun to do those episodes. Everybody over there on all those other shows, we got such great relationships with them. They're great people. We have way too much fun working together. So hopefully, hopefully COVID we can beat this sooner than later and get back to a more normal situation.
Why do you think the Man of Steel? Why do you think Superman has hung around and resonated for as long as he has, all these decades?
He's a symbol of hope, man, and we never we never run out of needing that. I think it's one of those things. I actually asked a question earlier that was great. It's is that a good thing or a bad thing that we always need Superman? And I was like, it's hope is a thing. It's not like we can just attain it and then everybody has it and it just moves forward that way forever. People lose hope, and that's why we have it. You say people lost hope. You need someone that re-inspires that. You need someone for a new generation that doesn't know what it is to have felt that and then felt the loss of it and need to be inspired again, to think that there can be a better future, a better tomorrow. And I think now more than ever, I think if we don't see the world that way, then what's the point? Why if you don't have hope for the future and where we can go and what we can do and how we can be better, what are we doing? So I think that having that figure, especially someone who, if they were to give up hope, could really just kind of take things into their own hands, but chooses not to and chooses to say, no, we're gonna get there. I think that's a powerful message no matter what, and anytime we find it.
I think right now is such a cool time to be a superhero fan, between all the shows, between the movies. Tyler, why is right now sort of the best time to be part of this superhero world that's going on?
I love the passion that comes from the fans, from the people who love these stories. And I think there's an incredible connection to the characters that the fans feel. For me, it's a privilege to do it. I know this character and what it means to so many people and what it's represented for so long. I'm very flattered and humbled to be even a small part of it. And so I hope we do it justice and that we can continue to build this legacy into something that people will be proud of and want to stick around for and continue to claim that character as something that they hold on to as being near and dear to them. But I think it's just it's a deep passion for these worlds, and it's great. I love it. I absolutely love the fandom and how passionate people are about these characters.
Okay, before I let you go, I got to ask you one quick last question. How many Easter eggs should people be keeping their eyes out for every week?
I would say quite a few. I'd say quite a few. They're always really good about that, man. I know they love doing that for the fans. If it doesn't fit, I think we've been good about not forcing things. But we've got a really creative team that does all the writing, and they do a good job of getting in as many things as possible. So I'm excited to see what else people get throughout the season.